that, man? Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. That's in James chapter 5, verse 7. And that's what I'm trying to convey to the audience, to the brothers, to the listener, and then to myself. Okay? Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. Meaning that we have to be fully, thoroughly made, cleansed now. We have to be thoroughly made ready. Right? The husbandman coming for what? The bridegroom. Or the bride. So the bride has to be fully prepared, man. She has to be ready. She can't be missing one ornament. She can't go into the to her bridegroom without missing earrings. She has to have both earrings. She has to have her wedding gown. That's how Yahweh Shai is looking, waiting for us to be fully furnished, man, fully prepared for His return. We have to endure the affliction that we suffer here in America, at our jobs, with our women, our children, family, friends, whatever it is, our own selves. We have to endure those things, man, in order to reach that goal. Vision is important when it comes to the word of the Holy Bible. It says, and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. Man, he's coming back to those first fruits. Right? And all in their specific order. It says, be ye also patient, establish your hearts. See, it goes back to that heart, that mind frame. That's beautiful. Because that's what it said in 2nd Ezra or Sirach chapter 2. When you prepare yourselves when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your hearts when you come to serve the Lord. That's talking about the mind. So it's said here, be ye also patient, establish your heart, establish your mind. Fortify it. Solidify the things that you receive and hold on to it to the end. Don't let it go. Because that's our anchoring of our soul, man, the faith. Whatever we have, the Lord has given us that measurement. That's what it is that you hold on to. Don't let it slip. Okay? Go on to the highways and the byways. Make the videos. Fight the flesh. Fast. Pray. This is a constant battle, man. This is a never-ending thing. The Lord tells us that in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah asked, until when, Lord? Until He established Israel in the kingdom. Right, basically. So I'm going to jump down to James chapter 5, verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Because these are these men that we look to as our examples, our leaders, to continue in the faith and not to follow the ways of the world, the ways of the heathen, man. The 2/3 Negro Latinos and Native American Indians that don't care nothing but about themselves, man. Selfish and narcissistic tendencies. They don't care about the Lord. They don't care about the return of Yahweh Shai. But that's why we look towards this word. We look towards each other, the Akim, man. The brotherhood. The true men that are suffering. The true soldiers of the earth. Whether you want to believe it or not. Spiritual men are greater than carnal men. It's been proven time after time, after generation and generation, spiritual men are greater than carnal men. It's been proven. That's why you simple-minded people that are about money, corporations, jobs, y'all admire a man of passion and zeal because you don't got that passion and zeal. You just have ambition that leads you to lead into monetary gain or a high stature in society. But you have no passion when it comes to this. You have no passion when it comes to the Heavenly Father's word, man. And to break it down, and to be precept upon precept, a lot of your pastors and Christians can't come out here raw and rugged, pulling out precepts. They have to prepare and they'll still be in they'll be called so-called pastors. 10, 15 years, still making sermons, still writing down on paper, still making notes on what they're going to talk. That's not the way the Lord worked. The Lord worked that way in the very early stages of us brothers coming in. After that, the Spirit flows, man. It's like a flow of water. That's how the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is. That's how us brothers are constantly, our mind is flowing with the precept, the scriptures, non-stop, in any topic that you have. It could be whatever. It could be about Nike. It could be about the colors, the color black, red, white. We know the vibrations of the subliminal message that the people put out. It could be any topic. It could be about the earth. It could be about the concrete. It could be about evolution. It could be about words. We have that. We have that ability. Why? Because Lord Yahweh Shai gave us that, man. These other people, they don't got that. Your pastors don't got that. And that's what we have to establish our hearts. When we know that we got the ability to do this, that we have that fire, we have that sword, that double-edged sword, we cannot lose that, man. It says, take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh Shai for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. See, we count them happy, which endure. Why? Because we know that the end of those men. We know the end of those men, what they received. We know the end of what Paul received. We know the end of what Peter received. James, John the Revelator. We know what the end result was for them. Was life, eternal life. Yeah, they died, but guess what? They're with the Father and they came back, and they're doing the same thing over, and they're going to be caught up in the chariot. These people are going to witness us, brothers, Lord willing, if I'm the elect, they're going to witness the elect caught up in the chariot, man. That's going to be above any man's dreams. I can't imagine it. I can't. I believe it, I have faith in it, but I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine that. Because when it happens, if it happens, it's going to be that much more beautiful, because I didn't expect that to happen to me. I hope brothers understand when I say that, because sometimes when you don't expect something, you ask for it, but you don't expect it. You don't expect to receive it. Then you receive it and you're like, damn, like you really got it from me. You really went out your way to do that. You really heard me. It moved you to do that for me, and you're that much more appreciative. You appreciate it more when you know that you're not going to receive it. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. I can't imagine it, but I don't see it happening to me in that way. I have faith, I believe, and I hope. I put on the hopeful elect as the hopeful elect by doing this work, going to the highways and the byways, in and out of camera. All right, to the best of my ability. But it's going to be that much more beautiful, man. You know, it's all about faith. And like I said, you have to have vision, and I know that chariots are going to come. But what I mean is actually going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine that. I can't fathom that. And the joy, the amount of joy, is going to be mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? To be out this world, man. Nothing on earth that we've ever experienced is gonna measure up to that joy. And that's what these people don't understand. They get joy and satisfaction out of this bullshit, tangible stuff, man. Us brothers, we get excited and joy and excitement from when we find out a mystery. We learn a new word. We're able to use a word in our sentence, in our speech. We get joy from that. Versus these 2/3, these people in the world, they get joy off cars and raises and getting a new woman or new husband. That's the difference between being carnal and spiritual. But it says, you have heard of the patience of Job. That's right. That's why I brought up, that was the primary example of Job, man. Which the word Job means hated or persecuted. And that's how us brothers are. We're despised, removed from men's company, rejected of men of sorrow, like Yahweh Shai was. You know, but it's going to come soon where these people are going to respect what we say. They're going to respect it, man. It's going to be very respected. And it's like, and every knee shall bow down to the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You will respect that name, Yahweh Shai. But because Yahweh Shai sanctioned and allowed you to go without judgment, your pride is exceedingly great. That's why the fall of America and you people is going to be great. You have heard the patience of Job and have seen the end of the Lord. You see that? You know the end result of these men. And they were given, their coast was enlarged. Now Yahweh Shai governs and rules the whole galaxy, the whole universe, man. That's what we want. We want our borders to be, our coast, our borders to be enlarged, meaning the kingdom. It says that the Lord is very pitiful and and had tender mercy. Now that leads me to that one I wanted to bring out, and 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and I'll start at verse verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. And that's talking about the kingdom, man. The kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that everybody claims that they're going to go into, right? Putting that title, the self-proclamation of they're saved, but their actions prove otherwise. That's what us brothers are striving for. That's the end result. Our borders, our coast being enlarged, not by getting the 40 acres and a mule, which we never received from Esau, from the so-called white man that put us into captivity. We never received that. Now we're asking our Father for that enlargement, for our borders to be enlarged, whether it be spiritually minded or in the kingdom, man. But that's what our end result, that end game is to go into the kingdom. In order to go into the kingdom is what? We have to continue in the faith through much tribulation, according to Acts 4:14 and 22. It says, there is also another thing, a city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. See, because that's that one that I read in Sirach. You observe, for thou walkest in the peril of that overthrown. That's because we're walking that narrow path. This world is set. This world has nothing but dangerous traps set everywhere, every corner, every crevice we walk. No matter what, there's danger. You see? That's what that narrow path is, man. We walk that straight gate, which is the road of difficulty. That's what it's difficult to get to that path. The Lord didn't say He was going to make it easy. He said He'll give us the things that we need, that are needful, like faith, His word, the comforter, right? And that's what He's going to give us to go through these things, to endure, do that, to be made hard, to keep pushing, to keep fighting as a good soldier of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, striving through the masteries righteously, right? For the masteries righteously. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. See, because we all have to go in our proper order. The Lord is waiting for that bride, the bride, to be properly furnished. There was a scripture that I was going to bring out. It says, okay, it's in Corinthians. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20. But now is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach risen from the dead, and become the first fruits of them that slept. Right? So Yahweh Shai is the first one. He's the first begotten of the first begotten son of Yahweh. So he is the first fruit. Now the elect are the rest of the first fruits that were handpicked. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead, which through Yahweh Shai.
Well, we want to just text her.
For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach shall all be made alive. Not all, meaning in the sense of the whole world. It's talking about the world of Israel, the elect, the Hebrew Israelites, which are the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. But every man in his own order, you see, because that narrow is so small that only one man can go in there at once. We have to go in our own order. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Yahweh Shai's HaMashiach's at His coming. You see, then cometh the end, and it's going to be the end of Esau, because we know that the beginning of the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob, right? That's what that represents. Okay, and 2 Corinthians chapter 6. All right, so it says, then cometh the end, Because the elect had to first be sealed, then the end comes, right? But it's going to be the beginning of Jacob and the end of Esau. It's going to be the end of the 2/3, end of the heathens, right? When he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. That's what we're trying to get to, that broad city that's built upon all good things, that's wide and sure, man. That's what we want. And the only way we're going to get that is by doing the work, keeping the faith, in and out of camera. It don't matter. No matter where we go to a new city, we continue. We go to a new job, we continue. We go to a new woman, we continue. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. You know? All his enemies are being put under his foot. Esau being the last one. Right? Russia going to be the one that's going to be destroyed in the land of Megiddo. Right? Armageddon, Harmageddon, the mountain of troops, where the Third World War is going to occur. The land of Jehoshaphat over there. That's what all his enemies have to be put under him, man. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy shall be destroyed is death, which is Esau. All right, sin. There ain't gonna be no more wickedness thriving in this world. It's gonna be blotted out, man. It's gonna be rooted out, and it's beginning with us. All right, it's beginning with us and our children. We're teaching our children the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the true power, the true image, the truth that has been hid from generation to generation. All right, not that old Christianity plantation Christian doctrine, man. We're teaching them a new way, the truth, the new song. It says, "For he hath put all things under his feet." But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. Right? He is accepted, which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Yahweh may be all in all. Okay? So it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that he's going to make these things happen. And we're waiting. That's that patience. All right? Of Job, the patience of Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai inherited the kingdom. He already got it. He won. He conquered that. Yahweh Shai did. Okay? Even though he didn't physically destroy the Romans during that time he was on earth. Right? But he conquered them through the Spirit. He destroyed that serpent. That old serpent, which was a man. It wasn't no serpent that had legs, man. All right, y'all into that Greek and Roman mythology. This is real. You got to think logically, spiritually first, which a lot of people ain't spiritual. Okay. It says, going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? You see? So that means that we have to overcome obstacle after obstacle. We have to overcome affliction after affliction, persecution after persecution. Like Paul gave the example of the perils that he went through among countrymen, all right, false brethren, right, death, stoning, etc. We have to overcome these things that are set before us, but we know that are not there to destroy us. It's there to prove us. That's why Acts 14 and 22 was there. We had to exhort the brethren to continue in the faith and through much tribulation in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So we have to go through these things, man. Right? How shall he receive this inheritance? Right? If he never passed through the dangers thereof, because he's not gonna appreciate it. That's why we have to go through these things to show our heart, man. Show what you're made of. What are you made of? Are you of gold? Are you of silver? Or are you of stubble and wood that is meant to be burnt? It says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Right? And I said, it is so, Lord. That it's his will. That's the way he set it up. No other man could pave another way on how to do it. That's why with us brothers, great millstone being nothing but a title. That's our title that separates us from the rest. You got other brothers that fall under the same doctrine, the teachings. We know that it's the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? It says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. See? It's Israel's portion. That's Israel's portion. The elect's portion. Who's Israel? That small remnant that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to have mercy on. Going to predestined from the foundations of the earth to receive this beautiful gift, to receive this beautiful kingdom. It says, because for their sakes I made the world. You see, he made everything for our sake, but because we fell from the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? We have been brought low. But real quick, I hope the brother Izar has watched this video. Going back to that word Napalia, all right? Talk about the Nephilim, right? Which is, we know that that those men were the sons of God, which were men. They were of flesh, you see. But we know that that word Napalia, or Napalayim, which means to be renowned, all right, to be favored, all right, full of wisdom. Okay, but going into that sense where those sons of men, when they fell, right, because they started going contrary to the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why he brought that flood upon them, right? But when we're brought to a lower state, man, when we're when Adam and Eve were banished out of the Garden of Eden, you know what I'm saying? Going back to where it said, because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. See, so we had to come back up. We had to be raised back up because we were brought to a lower state. We had fell from the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, but not as the fallen angels. We're talking about some angelic, spiritual entities came down. They lived on earth. No, okay. We already as having a spirit. We already as a heavenly being, man. Our spirit being in these bodies, but that's not our true embodiment. If you understand what I'm saying, because we're in this flesh, we're in this wicked and these chains of darkness that want the lust of the flesh, pride of life, and things of that nature, right? So if you understand what I'm saying, that's the fallen are the elect, or it is Israel. Israel fell from the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But Napoleon, right, means to be renowned. It's renowned, which means to be respected or favored, or strength, or full of wisdom. It has nothing to do with angels falling from heaven and impregnating women. That's a false fable. All right, that's a whole different thing that was created, man. That's not biblical. Okay, people that use like the scripture that Satan fell as lightning upon the earth, they use that as to justify that. That's not it either. Okay, because they don't understand the name Satan, what the word Satan is, a shaitan, which means adversary. The oppressor has fell to the lowest state. Now, when he falls, what happens? Someone has to come up, and that's where we're coming up, the elect. Lord, what am I part of that number? But it said that the world was given to us, but the changes that were set thereof, if we don't go through them, how are we going to inherit the kingdom? Well, how are we going to inherit it? So this had to happen, going all the way back to Genesis 6, and to Adam taking that bullshit knowledge from Eve, that false philosophy, whatever it was, the idea that they could do whatever they want, they could live however they want, whatever it was, is what brought us to this lower state. So now we're having to go through it, to the process of time, up to this time right now, it's being fulfilled. It says, because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now was done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, you see. So when Adam and Eve went off, it was made narrow and was full of sorrow, right? Full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil. full of perils and very painful. See that? That's the situation we're in right now. But like I said, we did see Satan fall as lightning into the earth because he's fallen, man. Great Babylon's fallen. You're saying Babylon is Satan? It's a kingdom. It's a group of people that rule within that kingdom, that domicile. A domicile is governed by a group of men, right? A government is not just, the buildings ain't governing nothing. Those are just housings, right? It's men that rule Babylon, that gave Babylon that name, the land that name, right? So it says when 2nd Ezra 7 and 12, then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow, travail, they that are but few and evil, because we're not guaranteed life, man. You know, man is born but a few days, man. A child may never ever be able to come out the mother's womb and see light. That's how this life is. That's how this current situation has always been since Adam and Eve went off. There's nothing but pain and heartache, sorrow, grief, vexation, evil, wickedness, bad spirits, bad people, no mercy, no love. So we have to go through the dangers that are set before it to inherit the kingdom. Okay? Why do you think Yahweh Shai put that cherub in front of the Garden of Eden that was the symbolic, that had that fiery sword? That represents that danger that is set before the kingdom, man. We have to go through those trials and tribulations. But like I said, to the people, we look miserable, look like we don't got a life, right? But that's cool. You're fulfilling prophecy. Thank you. I thank you very much. But we're going to continue doing this thing, man. Lord willing. There's no turning back. We're at no point of return, man. Our mind has to be set on following Yahweh Shai, whithersoever the Lamb goeth. We have to fight. We have to strive for this truth till death, Lord willing. We have to keep that in our mindset and know that it's going to happen. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. What am I going to do in that time? The best thing to do is to be quiet. Take Yahweh Shai, for example. He was quiet. He knew he was going to die. Best thing is to be quiet and to meditate on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to give us the strength to endure to that very last point of death. That's what I receive when I read that. When I think about that situation Yahweh Shai with, he was quiet, man. He was not fighting. Right now we're battling because we're conveying a message. Right now we're conveying, sounding the trumpet like it's prescribed and was commanded. But in that time, we're going to be quiet, man. We're not going to deny the name. The elect are not going to deny the name. But there's going to be a certain type of spirit that's going to be put upon us on how we're going to deal with that situation. Lord willing. You know, it's like you got certain people that get nervous. In the world, people get nervous and they're just gone talking. They can't stop talking. And that's a sign of nervousness. You know? You got that quiet one. People say it could be indication of being nervous or, you know, what's it called? Low self-esteem, whatever. But also it could be a sign of obedience, man. Discipline. And the mind is they have their mind controlled. There's a scripture that talks about that in the book of Psalm or Proverbs. Let's see. That's one. That was beautiful. That's not the one I was looking for. But that's right on that's right on point. But there's another one that can link up to that. I'll bring it out. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is Proverbs 25 and 28. he that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And that's not what the Most High is building up. He's building up the house of David, right? So our minds have to be fortified. Whereas lively stones, right? So we have to be solid, man. We have to be grounded, built and rooted, right? You don't see a tree yelling at the heavy winds coming at it, telling it to stop. It's enduring. It's rooted. It's prepared itself, and it's gonna endure through that shaky wind. That's how we have to be, you know. So we don't know. Basically, that's what I'm receiving through the Spirit. Is when Yahushua went there, he didn't say much. He didn't speak too much. That's why it said that he was as a sheep led to the slaughter, man. And a sheep, they don't cry out. You cut a sheep's throat, they ain't crying out. A goat, you cut a goat's throat, you're gonna hear that thing crying up and down, man. That's how these 2/3 of these heathens are gonna be. Esau. Alright? So let me go back to that one in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. He that had knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. So Yahushua was of an excellent spirit. That's why they could not condemn him. He wasn't showing no form of aggression. That goes straight to fucking Sakari, man. I've said it before, and I know your spirit, man. I've dealt with your spirit here in my city, and he was actually amongst my circle, man. Before I was in the truth, I dealt with the spirit. And that same spirit that was on him is on you, and you're in the truth. He that had not spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. And Yahushua was that excellent spirit, man. That was Yahweh's beloved son, that he was well pleased of. Right? That's why they couldn't condemn him. They had to rise up false accusations to put him to death. But that was prophesied it was going to happen. He was going to be betrayed by his own. In the book of Psalms, it tells you that. Right? So we have to be ready, man. It's basically what I'm trying to say. We have to be ready for all things. We have to be ready, man. We have to continue to do this work. Stay focused. Keep our eyes single to the prize. Full of light, not darkness, man. But that's the beautiful thing about Yahushua. If we're his son, he's going to make something happen. And sometimes it's not good. When I say it's not good, meaning that it can be more than just you losing your job. It could be more than you losing your wife. It could be more than you know, it can come to you losing someone, a life. Alright? So, going to verse 28, Proverbs 17 and 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. You see that? That's why Yahushua, he was quiet. He did what he was commanded. He had no reason to buckle. He had no reason to deny Yahushua or to give excuses, this, that, and the third. He knew this already, like we know it. We know it's coming. Okay? But right now, yeah, we're gonna battle. We're gonna have dialogue. We're gonna go have a conversation. We're gonna go back and forth, whatever, right? We're gonna choose our battles. But when it comes to that time, when it gets to that heavy level, when these